do not want to forget that. And so you should have gotten an email today just with day one, starting with day one. And what will happen is you'll get a series of clearings and other things along with it generally, but I thought I would wait to send that particular piece of it out until after we had this call tonight. So I could go ahead and pull the clearings. And hey, Stephanie. We've got Stephanie and Annette on tonight so far. Let's see who else joins us. We have a great group, and so thanks for sticking your toes in the water of 30 days with me for Laugh Your Ass Off, lighten up, and shifting anything in your body. So, and like I said, it's been a while since I've done a class, so excuse me if I'm kind of all over the place. I usually follow the energy of the group. And the energy of the group today, especially this morning, was just like, so what else is possible for all of us during this 30 days? And I don't know why it showed up as 30 days. I think this is actually my first 30-day. I've done 30 days with others, but this is the first 30-day class that I've done. So it'll be cool to see what shows up. The reason why I woke up one morning with the idea for the class, I've been asking a lot of questions around my bodies, other bodies, lots of different things in the context of, you know, if everything's energy and everything's energy molecules and that's what everything is, and we know through access tools, etc. And I will be sharing some of the Access Consciousness tools. I think, Annette, you've taken a Bars class, correct? With Deborah?
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm going to be sharing some of those tools. And you probably learned about the clearing statement from your Bars class. But if you want more information about that, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. And I'll put that on the emails as well. And get more information about what's this crazy statement. Basically, it's pulling up that heavy, icky energy and then clearing it. And we don't have to spend 10 years in therapy figuring out why and all that other stuff. We can just go directly to, hey, let's clear it. This is heavy. Let's just move on. And I tell you, Access Consciousness, I've done a lot of different modalities. I know we chatted a bit a couple weeks ago. And Access Consciousness, just even the clearing statement and those tools, etc., have been some of the fastest, like created some of the fastest change in my life, honestly. So I'm going to be using some of those tools. I'll probably throw in some other tools. I study a bunch of stuff. I'm like a student all the time. And I think you ladies are the same way, because I know we've chatted about it. So it'll be cool to dive in, and feel free to ask any questions. I'm going to dive in with some information for probably the first part of this, and then I'll open it up to any questions. I know people have emailed me some questions, and I emailed them back, and so I can address them a little bit here as the energy could apply to everybody. But let's dive in. So the reason why I started this class is because not only have because I've done stand-up comedy. When I was in my 20s, I thought that's what I wanted to do for a living. And then I got married and decided some other things. And then humor kind of went in and out at that point. And I still did like improv, and I still did different things. And, you know, I've done a lot of different acting plays and stuff like that. But it's been kind of funny because I've never really considered doing it professionally, but a lot of my friends that I met through doing it in my 20s are doing it professionally now, which is kind of cool because there's a lot going on here in Atlanta. But what I found was I've always used humor for so many things. And I remember hearing Gary, I don't remember if it was like a class that I had with him or on one of the telecalls, because they've got a lot that they do. They've got a radio show that they do every week on Voice of America. And they also have a lot of stuff that they'll put out on YouTube and SoundCloud. But I remember him saying, like, laughter is really the quickest way to shift things. And so I don't know if somebody else added on. Looks like can't tell. Anyway, looks like they're trying to. Anyway, so, and I realized that I've always used it in my life, not only in my family relationship, but like my relationship really with my body. And when I remember, because I'm cute about it, when I remember, like, things shift so quickly. And the other part of it is my parents kind of naturally do that. Like, they can get kicked up and into reaction because they're in their 80s now, and that just happens. But as far as their body stuff, like, it shifts quicker than, and doctors are always shocked, like, because I usually help taking them to the doctors and stuff like that, but it's like they're just always kind of flabbergasted that it's kind of like, oh yeah, I had a quadruple bypass and this and this, and then boom, you're back, just fine. So what I thought we could do is delve into this for 30 days and see what it could shift for you. Now, some people have said that they want to lose 10 pounds or they want to lose some weight. Some people have said they want to reshape their body. I know, I think I shared at the event we met at, Annette, that when I'm running bars, I always ask for, like, larger and lifted boobs and a tight butt. Because,
right.
yeah, we can ask for things while we're, everybody can get something out of the bars, running the bars, like you get it by running. And sorry, my dog is in the background. I couldn't move her, so she's still loud. She's got a little hip issues. And so hopefully this 30 days will help her as well. I've been working with her. But anyway, so I remember just kind of playing with that when I first learned the bars from the woman that I learned bars from here first. And I can't remember. Anyway, I just thought, well, how cool is that? Like, you're doing a session, you're giving a session, and everybody gets something out of the session. Everybody receives something out of the session. So what if everything's molecules and everything's energy, and we can get that out of a session, how, where could we use those tools on a day-to-day basis to shift things for us? And just as an example, I always used to tie, like, changing my body shape like that to a breakup. And I noticed that I always do that. Like, if I break up with somebody, it's almost like the next day, boom, I'm like a size or two down, and I'm, and there was something about me defining, so I don't know if this pertains to anybody else, there was something about me defining being in a secure, comfortable relationship with, like, okay, I can just let it all go, whatever that means to anybody, and not really necessarily worry about it. And it's almost like when I go through a breakup, I don't have a point of view about it anymore. And it's not even that I'm thinking about, oh, I'm going to be back out there. It's just, it's almost like just a automatic release of whatever. And I mean, my body had shifted and changed tied to that. And I started looking at that, and I kind of destroyed and uncreated anything that was. So if there's anything that you find that your body is either like, and not that anything like bigger or small or any of that is good or bad or right or wrong. So anywhere where we've defined any of that or so any projections, expectations, I call them DJCCs and pissers. We'll just keep that as that for short. Projections, expectations, all of that. Because I'm in the energy right now, so it's like, boing, my brain's going dead. But and refined judgments we have around defining anything with our body, anything with, I'm just going to throw them all out there because I'm a simplicity girl. Let's just do them all at once here. So anything that we have that with our weight, with our body shape, with parts of our body, with defining any and all of that, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that, please?
Yeah.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, puck, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. and anything underneath and underneath and underneath. Good, bad, right, wrong, puck, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Vanish, vanquish. Okay. And anywhere where you have defined what you do or don't want to get out of this class, or what you expect or don't expect to get out of this class, can we destroy and uncreate all that?
Yeah.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, puck, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So where could we have fun with it? Where could we have fun with it all? And where can we really tap into the molecules that could shift anything and everything that we would desire with our body? And it could be that we choose something in this 10 seconds, and we can choose again in the next 10 seconds. It's kind of like I could go, well, I didn't really necessarily like larger and lifted for the boobies. So maybe we want to choose, this or that or that or that. And over the last week for me, like actually last 2 weeks, I've had this weird like stomach show up again. I went away and I had like this really cool, I could see some definition and all that. And for some reason, I have belly back. So I've been just talking to it. So the first thing is, and what I sent out today is, what can happen when we pick up the thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. from everything around us, is that we also pick up those projections, expectations, all that stuff. And so anywhere that your definition of your body, your definition of anybody else's body, or your judgment of your body, or your judgment of anybody else's body, whatever that is, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that, please?
Yeah.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, puck, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Hey, Deborah. So the question that I asked for the first day today was, Deborah, we're just talking about, because we tend to pick up everything around us, are we in our reality for our body, or are we in everybody else's reality for our body? Which one feels lighter for you, ladies? Everybody else's reality or your reality? Or have you asked that question, what is my reality? What is my reality with my body? And what is my body reality? I got both questions because it would probably ring true for, depending on which one ever is lighter for you. What is your body reality rather than everyone else's body reality? I know that my mom used to be pretty large when I was younger. And my sister would always say to me, she'd pull me aside and she'd go, "You're going to look just like mom." And I didn't have a point of view that it was right or wrong or good or bad or whatever, because I thought, my mother is a beautiful woman. She always has been. But my sister was trying to stick me with it for some reason. And eventually she did. So I would be like, oh, I'm going to have these thighs, and I'm going to, because she had larger thighs, and I do too. I mean, I've always had bigger legs, and that's fine. I can shift them. I shift them differently at different times. I've had a stick body. And for me, personally, I've been everywhere from probably a size 1 or 2 to, or maybe even a 0 at one point, to on up, you name it. I've been it. So everything is changeable and everything is shiftable. So are you willing to receive that? And anywhere where you're not willing to receive that everything is shiftable and changeable, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Yeah.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, puck, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So I couldn't hear you if you wanted to share if you're in your body reality, or if you're in just in our reality in general. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'm trying out this new fangled blue microphone. So just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely in my own, body, with my own body right now. But all today, I've been with a lot of people. My son had his annual buckyball birthday gathering, and this year he did it with bowling instead. So I've been doing that all afternoon, and I visited with some friends earlier. And that was interesting, to be with a lot of people in the bowling alley, because I really had to be aware that even my bowling could be influenced by the people around me. And I found myself, it's the strangest darn, I found myself, like my daughter-in-law.
All right, I'm gonna.
I think I'm muted. Okay, my daughter-in-law went before me, and I found myself thinking,
Wow.
"Oh, if she gets a strike, I'll get a strike." Stupid things like that throughout the afternoon, and which was making me puck and putt a lot about that, because it was a physical activity, and my physical body was definitely, we were participating together in that. And just to be aware that a lot of the things I was thinking and feeling were like, not mine and not my body's. Of course, right now, I haven't bowled for like 40 years. So right now, my body is feeling the effects of like 3 hours of bowling, not having done it for, like I said, about 40 years. And so right now we are definitely with each other. I'm definitely in my body, and my body is definitely in me. So, but this afternoon was really interesting with all of that today. And because I stayed overnight with friends in Atlanta, I didn't get to see your email this morning until I just got home. I literally just got home about 10 minutes ago. So that's been my experience. I didn't even know what we were doing today, but my experience was very much about, am I with my body, or am I with somebody else's body, or a lot of other people's bodies around me, particularly this afternoon between 2 and 5. So that's been my experience today. Carol, I lost you. Oh, Lord. Carol, I lost you. Ah, there you are. Well, no, you're not.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I think in the whole trying to unmute somebody else, I muted myself. How's it get any better than that?
Right.
Cool technology. So what I was saying, Deborah, is would you be willing to destroy and uncreate any points of view you might have of that you hadn't bowled in 40 years and it might have some effects on your body? You want to?
Sure. Sure.
Cool.
Yes.
So whatever that is, would you revoke or can't rescind, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all, please?
Yes.
Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3 is just like shifting the energy in the now. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 is a shifting and the solidification, the solidified futures from whatever was going on in the now. So I might pull out one of those during the class. That's just what that is. And sometimes other numbers come in and I just go with it. I just follow awareness about that. So yeah, because I grew up in Stone Mountain and I was getting a big ping to go climb the mountain the other day. And so I just went one afternoon. And I used to just be able to like go up to the top of the mountain and I'd be fine. And I could go back down to the bottom of the mountain and I'd be fine. And I grew up there. So I've gone up and down that mountain like who knows how many thousands of times and around the mountain and all over. And I could only get, and I even did an MTVSS, which is a thing from Foundation, where you can kind of turn on the molecules in your body and just take on whatever. But I still like, I could only get up halfway up the mountain and I was just like, and I went, body, do you want to go any further? And I got a big, no. So I was like, well, okay, apparently I had this point of view that I, you know, because I've always done it that way, that I was going to do it that way that day. But it was actually pretty hot that way that day too. And there were so many people sitting in the little area of like halfway up the mountain anyway, just kind of chatting and talking and whatever. So I think it was just, hey, we're going to get a little bit today and then we'll go back and maybe we'll do the whole thing. So my interesting point of view that got obliterated was I was going to just jaunt up to the top, jaunt right back down. But sometimes your body, you know, when you actually ask your body and talk to your body, which I have to remind myself to do, I don't know if anybody else is that way.
Yes.
And the way I kind of do it is I like slap my hands like, okay, buddy, you know, what is it that you would like to eat today? What is it that you would like to have for breakfast today? Do you know, what would you like? Do you want coffee when you first wake up? You know, my body, there's a lot of automatic things I used to have in my day that I would just go, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm automatically going to make my cup of coffee and then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do my email. And it's like all that autoresponder stuff that just starts spewing. And when we can kind of pop out of that. So whatever autoresponders you have in place related to your body, or getting like points of creation, points of destruction, whatever that is. Whatever that is, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Yes.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And I didn't realize how much I'm not in my own body, that I'm all up into everybody, you know, whatever else is going on. The funny thing, because somebody had posted on Facebook the other day, have you had weird dreams lately? And I went, yeah, I had this dream the other night that I was speaking in Spanish and talking to some guy, and I felt like I was a guy energy. And we were talking about all different kinds of cerveza or beer. And I was like, I don't even really drink that much. And I don't even really drink a whole lot of beer. So I don't know what in the world that was about. And I was like, oh, I was up in somebody else's whatever. I don't even know who that, you know, it was like I could go further and ask more questions, but I was like, it doesn't matter. Who's that belong to? Return to my own reality. I'd like to be in my own reality, please. So if you find yourself kind of like having weird thoughts that you don't normally have, you know, just check in with your body and say, hey, you know what, is this my reality? Is this your reality? this our reality, or is this,
Hey, Karen.
is that Stephanie?
Sorry. Hey, Karen. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking into. I'm driving, so I'm not sure if I'm on Bluetooth or if I'm talking into my phone. But I had tried to take myself off mute a minute ago unsuccessfully. So this may be out of time, but I just wanted to say how brilliant what you were saying was about going up the mountain, because the other piece of that is just because you start something doesn't mean that your body wants to finish it.
Exactly.
You know, like just because I started running and I was going for 30 minutes doesn't mean that I keep running for 30 minutes. That whole 10 seconds, making choices in 10-second increments is real. Like just because I started it doesn't mean I have to finish it. And I just thought that was brilliant. I just wanted to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that acknowledgement, because I've even gone to the gym, and I go to I have a beautiful gym over here, and it's like, I'll do that there. I'll go in there for like 10 minutes and my body's like, okay, done. I'm like, okay, all right, well, whatever that is. And there's something
We just
about,
needed to visit some other bodies that were working out. Just visiting. Good to see you guys.
just visiting, just checking it out, just making sure what you guys have to do to stay in shape. But, you know, pock and pot, all that for me. Yeah, I think it's just because I think there's been like 5 times that my body has done that, and I always laugh on the way out because the people are like, hello, and oh, okay, goodbye. You know, and it's just like, most of the time it's because I'm asking about elegance showing up, and it is a very elegant place. There's like, you know, waterfalls and all kinds of things in there, and everybody's, you know, it's just beautiful. And I'm like, well, cool, you know, where else could we go for this whole elegance thing? And yeah, so if you don't have a point of view about it, and I love, because I was on a call with Sean Hart, and he's in this class too, but I don't think he was able to make it on live tonight. He was talking about diving off the cliff. And I just loved the way he said that, because it was like, yeah, and I don't necessarily, it's like I'm diving off the cliff all the time now. But I don't really consider it diving off the cliff. It's more like, what else is possible? Okay, I made this choice to go to the gym, and it's been 10 minutes or 10 seconds or whatever, and now it's over, and what's next? You know, rather than trying to, and I know that I'm guilty of this. I don't know whether any of you would be guilty of this, but I'll fess up for my part of it, is that, you know, I used to just bitch slap my body into things all the time. I bitch slap my body into going through marathon training. I bitch slap my body into going through all different kinds of running and other trainings. And I was actually about to go to like whatever that, what's next, the Ironman or whatever. And my body was like, I think I actually, I used to walk every morning at 5 a.m. I don't really do that anymore, because my body and my being doesn't necessarily always enjoy 5 a.m. But, you know, it could, some days it does, some days it doesn't. Most days it seems to not, but that could change in this 10 seconds. Who knows? But I was about to do that, and I think I was out one morning, and I don't know, it was almost like something popped up in front of me, and I fell really, really hard. And I had just bought these new shoes online. Normally I would go in and I would try them on, and I would kind of get my feet all in them and all that stuff. And I hadn't. And so I wasn't really, I was just going with the point of view of what I thought was next for my body at the time. And I remember going into, I was getting like acupuncture done at this doctor up here in Roswell. And I remember him saying, you know what, you don't have to be doing all the time. Because I think at the time it was like winter time. And he got that I was like this whole like big doer. You know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and blah, blah, blah. It's like I could say, hello, I'm Carol, and I'm a reformed doer. because you name it, I would put like 10,000 things on all these lists that I used to have, and I don't really necessarily do lists anymore except for to write down little ideas and little pings that pop into my head. So following the energy of our body and following the energy of our being is something that could show up completely different than what we've been trained to and learned to do life. So when we're going through this shift, and that's why I think 30 days for this particular class came up, because I just wanted to acknowledge everyone who signed up for this 30 days. First of all, like, how cool are you that you're willing to be open to the adventure of anything and everything that could show up for you? So how cool is that? I just want to acknowledge you all for that. How fun. And then the other is, there's, no matter what we're looking at to supposedly get out of this class, let's just pull that up now, because that feels a little heavy, and we'll just destroy and uncreate any and all. I'm just going to make it simple. So anything that we, again, our expectations, projections, decisions, judgments, calculations, computations, refined judgments, and any like energy there. I'm just going to say any like, because there's like 20 of those things I could mention. Are we willing to destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Sure.
Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. That's not to say that we can't have desire to have our butt, tighter and lifted, or have our boobs larger and lifted, or have our eyes lifted, or any and all of that. But what if, the thing that really, I was listening to, I think it was an Abraham, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Abraham Hicks, but it's somebody who's channeled through Esther Hicks, and it's very similar information, and it's kind of funny because I studied a lot of Access. I've listened to Bashur, who also is channeled through a guy in California, and everybody says, yeah, this is like all this similar information coming through different channels so that different people can hear it in the way that they hear it. Mm. So Abraham was saying the other day that like she had a certain point of view, the Esther Hicks who channels it, she had a certain point of view about like kind of stuff what Stephanie was saying, that what needed to show up for her to take some weight off, or that she wasn't walking when she thought she should, or and the main thing that she talked about channeling Abraham is that where in our day-to-day lives have we gotten so far away from joy? With our bodies, with eating, with any of that. I mean, it seems like, especially for eating, and I forgot where I was, where we were talking about food, and I don't know if I shared with you guys the other day, is that I went to this I got invited to go to this cancer event and do like a quick little, blurb on the bars and access consciousness and all that stuff. And I think it's probably a little bit over a year ago. And I grabbed one of the ladies that had taken a class from me with me. And so we went, and I had to bring some kind of food, like some kind of little something to put on the table where I was. And I just so I was running around all the day before and the morning of, and so I just ran and I got these like little bite-sized candy bars because that's kind of what was buzzing me and calling me at the time. And I was like, okay, we'll pop those out on the table. So I popped them out on the table, and immediately the woman who organized the event came up and started talking to me, and she said, you have sugar out on your table. And I said, yeah. And she goes, do you know that sugar causes cancer and it creates, you know, to grow? And, you know, and she was going on and on and on and on. Well, this whole event, like leading up to that, they had a little bit like a pre-event before they had speakers going on and talking and all that stuff. And the whole event was basically like everything is going to kill you type of event, like wearing a bra, like, so the list went on, like wearing a bra a certain way was going to kill you, eating a certain food was going to kill you, giving those types of foods to your children was going to kill you or kill them. And, you know, basically it was like everything was going to kill you. And what happened was the lady that was with me went out real quick to just catch some air, and the door locked behind her. She couldn't get back in. And so she called me, and about this time, like I had not, because a lot of times now, if I'm going out in public, I'll remember to like either bell jar myself, or, and I don't know how familiar you are with that. It's like basically like almost like putting an energetic dome over you, like those little glass domes, so that I don't pick up everything around me. And then I have to remember to like take it off whenever I'm going off or whatever by myself. Otherwise I'd go a little bazonka with my own thoughts. But I, like at this time, my energy was just like, yeah, you know, it was still happy and jolly and whatever. And when she came to say that to me, and I go, oh, I said, well, I don't really have a point of view about it. And I think that made her even madder, and it wasn't my intention. But what I got was, that was why I picked up the chocolate candy. And usually that will happen. Like you'll say something or do something, and it causes an awareness maybe in somebody else, and they might not be willing to be aware about it yet. She did come back to me afterwards and said, you know, I'm sorry I had such a reaction about that. I'm not sure what that was, but I know that sugar, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you know what? If you think that everything's energy, you know, does it really have to be that? And can it all be shiftable? And is it just based on our point of view? So she was open to that. And I'm not saying whoever is right or wrong or whatever. It's just, it's interesting what shows up when you have awareness about those things. Because is it the sugar that causes all this stuff? Or is it our point of view about it? If our point of view creates our reality, and our point of view can hold things in place, then if our point of view is that sugar causes cancer or anything else, could that possibly, does that mean we're resonating with that, like our energy is resonating with that, and then that starts to show up because that's what we're focusing on? So if it can happen in that sense of the instance, but you know, the cool thing about this is that we know we can change everything. So, okay, even in this 10 seconds, sometimes I go, even in this second, I'm going to choose this, and oh, no, I'm going to go over here. But when we're having the conversation with our body, and when we can start being more aware of what our body would desire, Dane has a great video on that where he does some body testing, and I'll share it on the next email I send out for tomorrow. It's really good just with playing with it. When I first saw it, I was like, God, that seems a little crazy, but you know what? I'm open to try anything. I'll try it. And it did. He was doing it like, hey, buddy, do you want the champagne? And he would hold it. You know, everybody has different ways of doing the body testing. I hold it to my stomach, and if I fall a little forward and put my feet kind of like toe to toe, and then I ask like, hey, body, would you like this champagne? Or hey, body, would you like this bread? Or hey, body, you know, truth, would you like this? And if I fall a little forward, I know, yeah, it's telling me yes. Or sometimes I just get a yes. I mean, everybody is a little bit different. So see what works for that for you. Play with it a little bit. And because what I've realized is that my body is much smarter than I am, especially when I go into my monkey brain about things, which I don't necessarily these days. But I'm a pretty good head tripper and head tripper of magnitude in the past. And so I would just go into all this, you know, I should be eatings. So anywhere where we've gone into the I should be eatings, would we be willing to destroy and uncreate all that, please?
Yep.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, pock, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I think, let me see. Oh, Stephanie is now on mute. Stephanie, if you need to come back in, I'm just going to open up the chat as well so I can hear you if you need to come back on, because I know you're driving. But just, you know, I think you can unmute on your side too if you need to. Anyway, so it's all, so just to kind of recap, our point of view creates our reality. And can we change our point of view at any time?
Yeah.
And so if we're eating based on our point of view, can we shift anything? Yes, we can. And is it, if we create everything in our life, can anything truly give us anything? Give us any kind of disease? Give us any kind of anything, unless we have the point of view that resonates with that. So anywhere we have any points of view that resonate with that we can just get an illness, or an illness can happen to us, or we can have, you know, get some kind of physical ailment, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, pock, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Ooh, that's much lighter. I'm just thinking because there's something else there too. Let me see what that is. So when you get an inkling in your body, where do you feel it? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your chest? Is it somewhere else? Anywhere else? And is that the same place where you kind of get the light and the heavy, if you get it that way? Sometimes, again, sometimes I get yes, no. I wasn't always able to hear that when I was in my do world. I'm going to do 10,000 things in a day.
For me, it's moved. Oops, now I've got my car talking to you. For me, it moves around my body, but then recently I don't actually get light and heavy in my body anymore. So, I mean, it's not a problem at all. It's just interesting that over time, how you receive information can change pretty drastically.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's definitely changed for me. Like initially I would definitely get super, super heavy or super, super light. And now I just get yes, no. And it's like, okay. Yeah, and it changes. So wherever you might have a point of view of that it might show up a certain way, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that?
Sure. Cool.
Good, bad, right, wrong, puck, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So there was a time, I guess it was probably about a year or so ago, I was playing with, you know, whenever we make something significant, it keeps showing up in our lives until we don't.
Until we what?
Until we don't make it significant.
Got it.
And we might not even, like, it might be something a little bit, like I've been kind of dealing with this on another call too. It's like, it might be a little bit of that it hides itself from us, the significance of it. So whatever that might be, let's just, are you willing to revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all that?
Yes. And
this and any your lifetime, multiverse, universe, or past, present, or future, or space, time, dimension, or any time, space that I haven't said here. Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I've cleared a lot of things like across all time, even though time is our construct. So I'm just going to say that. I might pull that out sometimes where I just, let's clear it across the board. Because really, our thought process initially that we're in time, you know, it's actually vertical rather than horizontal. In other words, we're living all these times all at the same time. So when we clear stuff, we're clearing it really sometimes the energy of that it needs to clear, and all of those time spaces comes up, or the energy of just now comes up. So and know that if we're clearing something or we're destroying and uncreating something, you can always go back and choose it at any time or not. You can let it go, or you know, if you find you want to look at it again, I'm a good person who's done that a lot. Like, oh, I don't think I'm totally done with that. I better look at that again and again and again and again. So whatever that is, where you might go into the so much more than an autoresponder, but I'm just going to grab the energy because it's points of reference. It's like reference points and any and all of that. I'm just going to just generalize it here because that could get into deep word space. I don't want to get us into our head. So are we willing to destroy and uncreate all that?
Yeah.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what could be possible in our body reality and our being reality and our reality now in this 10 seconds? What's possible now? What's possible now for our body? What's possible now for what we can create with our body? What fun things can we ask our body to participate in now? I've been asking my body, hey, show me magic, show me money, show me magic with money, show me ways that money can come to me in all different fun ways. How could this be fun? How could this be a contribution to the world? Body, show me, and I know I've done this at certain times, so this might be pertinent to you because it's coming up, is body, show me what you would like to look like. And see what comes up.
Okay.
I think I was getting all these pictures of Selma Hayek, which I think is funny because she's pretty lifted and she's pretty taut. I was like, I'll take that. Or, you know, something similar. I don't have to like lock on to that, but it's like just the energy of that. And body, what would you like? What energy? So what energy that I'm asking for can we resonate with and go beyond? And anything that doesn't allow that, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Yeah.
Cool. Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So if we didn't, I was at my parents' right before this, which was probably a good measure before hopping on the call, because they don't normally have a whole lot of points of view about being older and all that stuff. But my dad was saying, yeah, I can't, you know, he was basically yelling, saying, I can't hear anymore. And I said, oh, really? He said, well, it's a family thing. You know, your mom has it now. I have it. Your sister has it. And I was like, huh, interesting point of view. And so my dad starts going into, well, my grandfather had it and his dad had it and my grandmother had it and blah, blah, you know, all these people that had it. And I said, you know what, that so totally doesn't matter. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, they even did like a medical study that came out not too recently that said it didn't matter, like DNA had nothing to do with whatever you contracted, like whether it was disease or different things. It has nothing to do with it. And that goes back to the whole thing of everything's energy. Because if anything's energy, can we turn the molecule, and that's some of what that 3s and 4s are, is like, can we turn any molecule at any time to shift that? And the statement for that 3 is like usually, what molecule in the future can I turn the polarity of that will shift this? And I've used that a lot for a lot of different things. And so let's play with that over these 30 days with our body.
Okay.
And I'll put that in tomorrow's email too. So what molecule in the future, and that is basically like the 1, 2, 3. When we do the 1, 2, 3, what molecule in the future can you turn the polarity of that will shift this?
Okay.
So one is, what if we could ask that for anything?
Molecule in the
And what if we could ask that for any and all things? Our body, our being, our reality. It's funny, I was, we were taught to ask all these questions in Access, and I do ask a lot of questions. And the other day I was like asking and asking and asking and asking and asking, and it was about all different kinds of things. It was about my environment. It was about what I was working, the classes that I'm working on and or creating, and everything that's kind of popping up that's just really seems really light and fun in this 10 seconds, and my body and all these things. And I was getting no answers. No answers at all. And I was like, and I even said, like, who does this belong to? Return to center. Who does this belong to? Return to center. And I was doing that, and I was still in. And then I finally went, oh. And that's where this question for today came out of, like, what is your reality with your body? What is your body reality? What is your being reality? What is your reality? Because I finally asked that, and I said, so in my reality, then I started asking all the questions again, and I got all the answers.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, body, for showing me that I was still not in my reality. Because a lot of times as healers, and I've pocked a lot of the autoresponder stuff with being a healer and all that stuff. I still pop into a lot of realities. So how many of us pop into many different time frames and many different realities all throughout our day? Would you say you're doing like more than 50, less than 50?
Less than 50.
Less than 50?
For me.
Less than 40?
Oh, yeah.
Like 10?
I don't know that I even recognize that I'm in some other reality, in some other time frame, because I'm usually so focused on what I'm doing in this time frame.
Yeah.
That I don't know that I would even know that I was in some other time frame or some other reality.
So it might just be like if you're finding some weirdness or you're not getting the answers to questions, you could be, again, in somebody else's reality or others' reality all at the same time. So you could just ask that question. Hey, what is my, am I in my reality?
Okay, that's a good question.
And if I were in my reality and whatever question, like what energy, space, and consciousness could I be to shift my body for all eternity?
Okay.
And anything that doesn't allow that good, bad, right, wrong, pock, pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And that's been the thing, because I was really there was a point in time where I just felt like, oh, those questions used to really just work, and they just haven't been working lately. And I had a lot of other people saying the same thing, and I took some other classes and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's the whole thing of like, not only the time space we're in is our reality. So are we in this time? Are we in the now? And are we, because I had one week too that was like, everybody was having 80s parties. Everybody was dressing like the 80s. Everything that was popping. I was like, okay, what time frame am I? obviously the 80s. So that can kind of come up too. I mean, that sounds a little crazy, but I didn't want you guys to think that you were, or ladies to think you were crazy if that came up for you, because that's another thing where we can just, you know, if we have a lot of abilities and we're very energetic and we're, you know, we're here doing lots of different things. That's why we're here at this point in time. How does it get any better than that? So the thing is just still to remain in the question and just ask for your reality. If you're not getting the general answer to the, you know, we're not necessarily looking for answer, but just like, you know, universe, show me type of thing.
Energy, light or heavy.
Energy thing. So as we launch onto this 30 days of just following the energy of our body, yay! You know, if you want to share what you're desiring in the group, you're welcome to. If you want it to be just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone, that's fine too. I've got a lot of different things that I'm focusing on. I just love that it's going to be also an amazing contribution to the kingdom of Wheee.
Yes.
So what can we shift for our bodies, for the world, for the greater good, whatever that is, good, bad, right, wrong, all that, whatever. I don't know, for some reason the word good came out, but you know, what is good really? But just for the basically a contribution to the kingdom of Wheee, and where can we really have creation and communion with our body where we haven't been willing to go before.
Okay.
How does it get any better than that? So it looks like we're coming up to the hour here. I just wanted to open up to see if anybody had any questions.
There's a lot to, I don't want to use the word consider, but there's a lot in this hour. So I think I'm just going to let it settle.
I think that's great. So I'm going to share one thing that I'm desiring is that because I've had a little bit of energetic work done on with my eyes. And today, like I broke another I keep breaking the left side of my glasses off on just about every single pair of glasses I have. So I've got these two sitting here and they're broken.
Wow.
Thank you, universe. So, you know, it's my interesting point of view that I require glasses to be on the computer. And I don't have them on today. And for reading and everything else, because that's what I was told as a kid. I was actually told, I think at the age of 10, that I needed glasses. Yeah. And we had so much going on at the time. I think we were moving and just lots going on with just activities and stuff like that. And the doctor said, well, the longer you put it off, you know, the stronger your eyes will eventually be. So my mom really didn't, you know, as OCD as our whole family can be, it's like she didn't put it on the list right away for me to do. And then we kind of like, she brought it up, I think a couple years later, and I kept saying, oh, you know what, I'm reading fine. But I got to a certain point when I was older and I was going out. I think I had just gotten divorced and I was going out on different dates. And this one guy said, I think I was 40 something at the time. And he said, oh, you're that age. He goes, just wait. You know, because he had to put glasses on to read the menu and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, you'll be here one day. And I was like, oh, crap. Don't want to solidify. So somehow I solidified that in. I didn't think I did because I was like, oh, I'm not choosing that. I was just telling my dad that, like, isn't it funny that I'm the only one who can hear in this family? This is really kind of funny. And yeah, that is funny. I said, I just don't choose it. But if I make that significant, then what will happen? What? I'm sorry, what did you say? So So there's that little inkling there. It's like whatever we do make significant or react to will keep showing up in our lives until we don't do that anymore, or don't be that anymore, basically. Gary, you guys might remember the story about Gary stepping in the dog shit. And he said everywhere he was going, he was stepping in dog shit, stepping in dog shit, stepping in dog shit. And then he just realized one day, because he was like, damn it, I keep stepping in this dog shit. And then he went, oh, wait a minute. He realized he was making it significant. And so that's just the thing to remember. And again, like, don't make the significant either. So whatever we're trying to make significant. Pock and pot, all that.
Pock and pot.
But anyway, so I think I've probably like fried your brains. If you have any questions at all, you can either email me, carol@carolreinley.com, or you can ask a question on the Facebook page, or, you know, any and all of the above, you know, message me on Facebook. I think we're all connected. I'm so excited about our journey. So look for your email tomorrow.
Right.
I will do a sheet that has the clearings from this call, and then I'll include like day 2 stuff as well.
Cool.
So
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, guys.
Thank you, Carol. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great week.
Bye.